and welcome to Ninqueso Live, episode 31. And happy Mario Day to everyone. I am El Gran Queso, and I am joined by the Bowser busting babe, Miss Bree.
Bowser busting, I like that. I've busted a bit of Bowser's in my time, I have to tell you.
You have. I'm not sure if you approved with the babe bit, but it was just the B word, so I just went for it.
You'd be better saying boss babe.
The Bowser busting boss babe. That sounded weird.
It's great though, isn't it?
The Bowser busting boss, Miss Bree. How are you this week? I've not seen you for ages.
I know. Hello, Barlett. I'm seeing Barlett in the chat. Yes, happy Mario Day.
Barlett is in the chat wishing us a happy Mario Day because it's March 10th and that's Mario Day.
It is. So I am, at the moment, as I said to you before, I'm trying to fix my headset situation. So that's where I'm at the moment, is getting in my headset situation. I did finish What Remains of Edith Finch.
Yes.
I had a bit of a moment in the cat factory.
Oh, yeah, where you have to, like, cut fish heads while playing another game.
Yeah, and now those of you who know me most,
she can't multitask.
Know that I cannot multitask because what I am, in fact, is a boy in girls' clothing. So it's very, very hard for me to do anything whereby I've got to do two things at once. My brain just doesn't do parallel processing. So I found it incredibly difficult to the point where I had to put my handset down and go for a lay down afterwards. And the boy said, "Are you all right, babe?" And I was just like, no, I'm not. I can't multitask and my head hurts. I'm going. So that was how that ended.
I don't think it really matters if you weren't cutting the fish heads off that quickly. I think you probably could just concentrate on one.
Because it was in real time in many dimensions at once, wasn't it?
Yes.
So, yeah.
And
having said that, my overall review of What Remains of Edith Finch was great. It was really good. Although some sections were very, very disturbing.
I don't want to spoil much, but there's a section on the swing where I'm just like, I don't want to be doing this. I don't want to do this. That's all I want to say. But it's just like, why am I doing this? And the bath time one, yes, that is a bit more. I mean, it's lovely. It's really lovely the way they do it. But yeah, the bath section is a little bit.
It's a beautiful game. It really is, and I would recommend it. And as you've said before, it only takes sort of 3 or 4 hours to complete the whole thing, and it's beautifully rendered. And as far as a sort of discovery puzzle game is concerned, it's brilliant. But there's sections of it which probably verge from weird into disturbing.
Yes. Yeah. And it's free on Game Pass as well at the moment. So if you got Game Pass,
it's free. But I would personally, as you know, and I'm not afraid to tell people this, I've suffered from severe mental health problems in the past, to the point as I did actually take refuge in a hospital more than once. So I would put out a mental health warning on that one. If you have struggled in the past, you may want to think twice about playing it on a dark day. That's all I would say.
Yeah. Yeah. DMTG or life. Hello, welcome. So we've got Barlett and DMTG for life.
How are you, Betsy?
Me, I've been good. I've not played anything new. Continuing Yakuza Like a Dragon. And I'm really enjoying it. It's a really ridiculously silly RPG that, although it's like a traditional RPG, it's set in modern day Japan.
Oh, epic.
There's like, you can like, there's this one agency called, I can't remember what they're called, the Pound thing, but basically you hire a person to come and beat you up, and it's like you pull your phone out and he's like, "I'm gonna call a friend," and he touches the app button. And it's just ridiculous. Okay. The lady is Miss Bree. She's my co-host for Ninqueso Live and my best friend.
Yes, and we have been best mates for longer than I care to.
It's been a while now, isn't it?
It's a very, very long while. A very long while. In fact, to the point where we are pretty much brother and sister, aren't we? I think we'll be in it for life. Yeah.
It's like, I had a picture come up on Facebook of Judy, and it was like, "Here's your picture from 10 years ago." And it's like, oh man, my cat from 10 years ago. And I'm sure I'm at Miss Bree's house as well.
Yeah. Ninqueso and I actually used to live together. And when I say that, we were just sharing a house. So we were in separate bedrooms, but we shared the house together, and we had all sorts of shenanigans. So we both had cats, and his cat, Judy, which was a boy.
Best cat in the world.
There was a bit of a mistake
Best
when
cat
he
in the
was a
world.
little lad. Yeah, he used to watch me in the shower.
Yeah, and he used to like pad your boobs a lot as well and bury his head into them.
Yes, he did. Yes, he was a proper little boy cat. But anyway,
takes after me.
Yeah, we did. We've been together a long time. We've done a lot of stuff together. We're both. We have run a business together in the past, as well as being best mates, and we're like brother and sister. We're very, very close. We've been there through thick and thin, to be honest. And I think if there's one person who will always be there in my life, it's my bestie Ninqueso.
Yeah, and now we're doing a podcast. And we got do things like quick news, the kind of news we don't really want to feel like we want to talk about, but we feel we should mention.
That's the time.
Quick news time. Okay, the Switch shifted 1.5 million units in the UK last year, matching Xbox and PlayStation sales combined. I mean, it's not really like that big a thing because obviously most of the year Xbox and PlayStation were on the last part of it. Like the new ones came out in November, so most of the year people were waiting for the new ones. They weren't going to be buying the older ones, were they? But it's still good. Still good. Nintendo will stop repairing the original 3DS and 3DS XL consoles next month due to parts shortages. Japan's Super Nintendo World finally opens this month. It's actually going to be opening with limited amount of numbers and face masks and all that sort of stuff.
Can't wait.
Netflix joins the Mario's Doomsday celebration as it will remove Super Mario Bros. 3 cartoon on the 31st of March. And Xbox Game Pass is getting more Bethesda games later this week.
Woohoo!
I'm not sure they're out yet. They might be out today, but I've not seen anything. No. And that's the quick news.
We have a new story about Bethesda later.
We have. Things have like come into place for Bethesda and Microsoft. And that is the quick news.
So on to the main news for today.
Yeah, Germany is considering an 18 plus rating on video games with loot boxes.
I'm not surprised, and this is just the latest in a long line of people who have really sort of cast their eye over this EA debacle on the loot box situation. And anyway, so they're basically going to pass a reform to their Youth Protection Act, which protects children from gambling-like mechanisms. And the reaction to this online is quite predictable. There are some people who are saying some people should control their children, and most people are saying, well, it is gambling. Let's be honest, it's gambling, and it probably should be regulated as such. So, yeah. So there's repeated criticism, and this is particularly in reference to FIFA, which is obviously where this started, because FIFA started as a 3+ game. And if this legislation goes through, it will be an 18+ game.
It's I mean, it's an odd one because obviously the way games come out in Europe, to localize it just for Germany, if they remove the loot boxes or whether they leave them in. But I think even if they leave them in and it's an 18 rated game, it's not really going to affect much. It's like, as an example, do you know the Skyrim group that we were in on Facebook?
Yeah.
I saw so many posts. It's like, I've just started my nephew playing Skyrim. They're like 8. And it's like, why would you do that for an 18 rated game? You know, I don't know if Skyrim is 18 rated, but it is quite bloody and brutal and, you know.
It is.
And it's just like, so I don't think this having an 18 rated label on the game would stop parents giving it to their kids.
I should just mention I've downloaded a mod for Skyrim, which makes it even more bloody. So the bodies pump blood and twitch for a bit longer.
I know that mod. Extra blood.
It's a great mod. But so you're quite right.
Yeah, so I don't think it's make any difference. And also, what's to stop EA just like releasing the game without loot boxes in, and then after it's already sold, add them in? Especially, they might get fined or something by Germany, but do you really think they're going, at the end of the day, if they sit down and like, right, how much will this fine be? How much are we taking from these loot boxes? I think it might be worth just taking the fine. Do you know what I mean? I think they just need to sort of, I don't know. It's an odd one. It is an odd one. Personally, I've never really encountered loot boxes.
UK fans. Just mention for UK fans that this has actually come under scrutiny in the UK as well. There was a briefing paper issued in December, and we're just waiting for the outcome of that because the House of Lords had a good look at this as well. So I think, there's lots of places in the world where this is coming under scrutiny.
Yeah.
So Belgium, they got a 10 million euro fine for that from the Dutch government in Belgium in last October. So yeah, I think that this one's got a bit to run yet.
It's a step in the right direction. I mean, I can't say I've ever played FIFA, so I don't really know what the loot box situation is like in the game. But no game that I've played has ever really had like loot boxes. I mean, obviously, if you don't know what a loot box is, you're buying a box that contains in-game items, but you don't know what the items are. It's like random what you get. So obviously, to get the good stuff, you're going to have to buy more and more and more and more to get them. I don't know.
Holland. Look, we've got a fan in the chat.
From Holland. I know they're from Holland. We've been talking quite a bit. They've been at most of my streams lately. It's good.
I didn't know that.
That's because you don't come to my streams very often.
Well, I do, but I lurk.
You're a lurker. You need to give me a lurk in the chat so I know you're lurking.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a step in the right direction. But yeah, it's one of those things that it's not really affecting me at the moment, and also I know that I just wouldn't buy them. This kind of thing. But I don't know how much they actually influence the game. If there is strong, like you are going to be better at the game from buying these things, and that is bad. If it is just all cosmetic stuff, then.
I mean, I've done collectibles back in the day for stickers and one things and another, but then it was my pocket money. But here we are. This is like, if you've got primary school age children who've got access to your credit card and want to collect these things, you'll probably have a stronger opinion on it than we do.
Definitely. Like you say, I mean, my all of my games consoles, my bank card is linked to them, so I don't have to keep putting it in every time I buy, because it's so much more convenient that way. And obviously kids get hold, if I had kids and they got hold of that, I know damn well they'd be like buying everything. I'd be like, what the hell? We can't eat now.
This is why you don't have kids, because you'd be
I just have cats. Oh, it's like, this is totally sidetrack. Okay, I'm wandering now. We've finished with this story, but I'm wandering. I gave Kelly her flea treatment yesterday, and she got very needy. She was on the desk the whole time while I was streaming. Then when I went to bed, she was already on my bed. I went to sleep.
What was wrong with her?
I went to sleep at about 6 a.m. She was still there. I woke up at like 4:30 in the afternoon, and she was still there. She slept on my bed the whole night.
Is she getting a little bit senile in her old age?
No, I think it's because I think the flea and stuff made her feel a little bit under the weather.
That happens to me when I get flea treatment.
When your tick buddy applies the flea treatment.
That's it, yeah. And I should.
Everyone should have a tick buddy.
We are tick buddies, aren't we?
All right. Moving on. Is this Sony's next VR controller? Oh no, the thing's not there. Right. quick.
This is about Sony's next gen PSVR controller, and we've got some schematics here. So Besty's going to try and bring those up.
I am trying to bring those up, but for some reason they're not.
So the PlayStation Move controllers have now outlived their life expectancy, and end of life is nearing. So there's been an announcement of the next gen PlayStation VR headset last week. I
can't get it up for some reason.
So we've got some brand new motion devices, and they're going to be using a technology from DualSense. So this is what we've got here is a story about a patent that's been dug up, and it's given us a bit of a glimpse of what might be coming on this. So it's an application for a control apparatus. That's what it actually is. And it's basically two handsets. Both have got small LED panels on them. And they sort of like a vertical. So an Xbox controller is all like a horizontal. These are more vertical, like a joystick without any connection. And it looks like you have one for each hand. And they've got a series of buttons up and down their length, and a sort of like side apparatus that would fit round the back of your hand, it looks like it.
Yeah. Not ideal what I found, but I brought something up. Right.
Oh, That was it. That was it.
Yeah, I'm going to try and bring it up on here. Let me just do a video capture. Ching, ching, ching. There we go. That'll do.
There it is.
Oh, we'll shrink that down to there. There we go.
Yeah,
we
so
did it at
see,
last.
there's like a button apparatus and like a handheld holding section, and then
Yeah.
goes around the wrist. So I would have thought it had some sort of apparatus in it to tell you which way is up, which way is down.
Yeah, I'll have it like a gyroscope in there, won't it?
Yeah.
The thing for this that makes me actually happy is this middle bit here, where it looks like a joystick. Because the Move controllers for the PlayStation VR at the moment, they work really well, but there's no joystick on them for movement. And like playing Skyrim with the Move controllers is really, it's good, but the way you have to move is it's like you need to, which way you point the controller and then you hold a button down, you go in that direction. So you can walk backwards by like shooting the controller behind you or to the side, but it's just so, it takes a lot. It's not natural, if you know what I mean. Like playing with a normal controller is great, but then you lose some of the immersion in VR.
Yeah.
But it's just like, why haven't they released Move controllers with a joystick on as well? That's all they need to do, and it'd be absolutely brilliant. I mean, this is looking very, very similar, like to what, I mean, it's very similar to how a Move controller is, like the whole straight stick kind of thing. So I've got hopes that they should be quite good for everything.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll be affordable.
I mean, that is the one thing with the PlayStation VR. It is on the cheaper entry point into VR, gaming. So, I mean, yeah, I like VR gaming, even though it makes me ill.
Yeah, it makes you extremely nauseous, but you're into
But
it.
I like it anyway. I'll just get some travel sickness tablets. Right. Microsoft, ZeniMax, Bethesda. It's done. The deal has been signed.
The deal is done.
So Europe said it's fine, you can do this. Everywhere said that, and now the paperwork has been signed. And Microsoft has come out and said some of the games are going to be Xbox exclusives.
Yeah, so this is Xbox dude Phil Spencer.
Yes.
Who was asked directly, but was a little bit vague. So he has no idea what's going to be exclusive and what's not. But he did say that some will not come out on PS4 and PS5. So
I think live service games, do you like games like Elder Scrolls Online, Fallout 76? They will be everywhere because it makes sense to have them everywhere because you need a large player base. Everything else, it's got. I personally do not see why they would put it on PlayStation. It makes no sense whatsoever for Elder Scrolls 6.
Not after this purchase.
To go anywhere else.
I don't understand that way either.
Yeah, and the people are like, so many people are like, oh no, they need the money, but it's like the long-term goal is to get people on Game Pass. And this is why they've required this, so they can put these games on Game Pass. And bring people into their ecosystem. So to me, it makes no sense that they would develop games and put them on the competitors' consoles. I think the reason that they've said some games is that they don't want to commit to anything yet. I think it would be on a game-by-game basis, but I think we'll start seeing more and more Xbox exclusive.
Yes, that's true. But let's be honest, the only games we really want to know about is Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6. That's what people want to know.
What about the Indiana Jones game that's been announced by Bethesda? You don't care.
Don't care.
You don't like Indiana Jones. Oh man, who are you? Get out my life. Indiana Jones is amazing. So yeah, there are rumours that they're going to be having an event sometime this week, but I think it was kind of just the announcement that they had of saying that the deal was done.
Last week, they denied that they were having an event, even though these rumours have continued to swirl over the past 2 to 3 weeks. Yes.
So, we will get more information, but don't be too surprised if more and more things become Xbox exclusives. I'm sorry to say. If you don't like Xbox that much, get yourself a PC then. because that's
So,
the thing.
that's
All the
it.
games are going to be PC and Xbox.
I've got a question for you.
I might have an answer.
Are you ready for $70 games?
I feel like I'm ready to start paying $70 for games, you know. And lo and behold, Take-Two boss believes that other players are ready for $70 games.
I'm not ready.
It's like, what a thing to come out and say. Oh yeah, gamers, they're ready for $70 games.
Oh man, I mean,
Yeah,
you
we're
know,
in the midst of a
language that
we're in the
this
midst.
was dressed up to was just dreadful, really dreadful. So this is Zelnick, and I'm only going to call him by his last name because that's just how I feel about it. Zelnick, you absolute turtle.
I know it's not only that. It's like the timing of coming out and say this. We're in the middle of a global pandemic. People have lost their jobs left, right, and centre. So money's a bit tight at the moment. And, you know, even people who have still got their jobs, they're not actually. A lot of them aren't actually being able to go to work. And it's like, yeah, people are ready to pay $70 for games. It's like,
whatever, dude. Don't know where you've got this.
I think the picture they've taken underneath the headline on the website. Which website is this? Push Square. It's just amazing. It's just the basketball player like, what? We're ready for £70 games? What are you on about?
I honestly think this speaks to tremendous privilege, you know, when so many people have lost their jobs, particularly in the UK, and those that have kept them are on furlough, which for those who don't know means they only get 70% of their wage. Some of them get 80%, but the majority, you know, it's less. Yeah, and having said that, you know, your bills are not at 70%. Your rent, your mortgage, whatever it is, still at that state. So an awful lot of people are tightening their belts, and you know, unemployment is up to 5%. So to hear these sorts of things really just smacks of completely out of touch.
I know. I mean, at the moment, after I've paid all my bills and everything for the week, I would be lucky to have $70 to spend on food for the month. You know, and the fact that it just comes out.
Sorry that you're broke as all F. I really am.
It's just one of those things. I mean, I don't mind. I'm okay with it. I'm getting by, so that's all that cares. If it wasn't for Game Pass, I'd be really screwed. You know, it's a godsend. You know, having all these games at my fingertips.
This is it, isn't it?
€70 is too much. Yes, I agree totally. DMTG. It's so much money, and the fact that like these people, these are the ones that make like the NBA games, isn't it? Is this from Take-Two?
Yes.
So they make games that literally they come out the same game virtually every single year. And you know, like, damn well, if you just wait a month, the game is already half price. If you wait 3 or 4 months, you know, in a year's time, that game is like under a tenner kind of thing. That's the way sports titles go. And to be fair, that's the way a lot of games go. I think that's why a lot of these companies are doing this, because they want to get that big money in from the first run of games. Because it's very rare. I mean, the only company that really keeps the price of the games up is Nintendo, where like Breath of the Wild that came out in 2017 is still £60 or £50 or whatever it is, but it's not gone down in price, and they very rarely put their games on sale. But yet, you know, by Nintendo, their games just keep selling and selling and selling.
Yeah. So I want to give you a quote here. What he said is their policy is to over deliver and undercharge. Dude, you've got it the wrong way round.
And then make millions from loot boxes and downloadable stuff.
I beg to believe, really.
Yeah, I mean, I do remember the days back in like the Super Nintendo and N64 days where games were that much already. They did actually come down in price as we went on. But I think because there's that potential now for making extra sales for DLC with costume packs, I think that's a bit off that they're putting the price up when they can still make lots of money that way. I mean, personally,
there was that separation between games that you paid full price for and games that you didn't, but then included microtransactions.
Yes.
And there's everything in there at the minute. So
I'm going to equate this like Fall Guys. That's a cheaper game. I really enjoy playing it, so I actually want to buy the DLC packs to help support them, because they're only like £4 for a DLC pack, and they only come out like, we got an extra one midway through the last season, but you're only getting like 1 or 2 per season, and that makes me feel like, do you know what, I love this game, so I want to help support it. Where you got a big company like this that are already charging top whack for the game, and then there's all stuff inside it that are gonna bring them in money as well. I feel it's like you say, it is a little bit like it's just money grabbing, and I get that's the world we live in. That is the world we live in. Money is all important. All about the Mahoney.
Mahoney. It's all about the Mahoney.
Exactly. Right.
All right, so let's move on, shall we?
We shall move on
to Nintendo.
Yes, the whole rumour mill with the next generation. Nintendo to reveal a new Switch model with Samsung OLED displays and 4K support is the rumour.
Okay, so being a techie person, I can tell you that the OLED, well, that is the way to go.
I've heard good things about OLED screens. I know some people are kicking up a fuss because it's been announced that they're only 720p. And it's like, oh, they should be 1080.
The size of it doesn't make any difference.
I know. I've never had a problem.
Anyway.
I've never had a problem with the Switch screen in portable mode whatsoever because it's so small. No. I know people are saying, well, my phone's at 4K screen. And
when you look at the pixels, it won't make any difference. And anyway, with the OLED, you're going to get a higher contrast.
Yeah.
You'll also probably get improved battery life.
Yes, that's what they're kind of saying, why they probably didn't go for the 1080p screens, because one, performance-wise and battery life, you're going to be like draining a lot more, you know, and it's going to look fine anyway. It's going to look fine. Yeah, this is still rumour, but apparently Nintendo have actually put in a big order for the Samsung OLED screens. So it's kind of like all but confirmed. It's kind of happening, but Nintendo haven't said it's happening yet. So I guess you never really do know with all rumours. But Nintendo have said we're kind of like halfway through the Switch's lifespan at the moment. So yeah, it would be interesting to see.
Anniversary, isn't it?
It is,
launch?
yes. It was the beginning of this month, the 3rd, I think it was, wasn't it? Was when it first came out, March 3rd. I was there in the shop getting my Switch that day. I know damn well that's not going to happen in this day and age. Though that's not going to happen for the next Switch because it's all going to be brought up by scalpers. But anyway, I know, right? I know, right? So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Would I get one? Maybe, especially if it's like got the upgraded 4K support for the TV and stuff. I think that'd be nice.
If we could get a sponsor to buy you one, then
I would do a review.
Sure.
I would do an unboxing video. There it is.
Listen, I would do an unboxing video in my bikini should that happen.
Wow. Don't make promises online that you might not be able to keep.
Remember what happened with the pole on my hair? Yeah.
Yeah, you still haven't got that done, have you?
Well, they don't open yet. They're not opening yet.
So we look like we should be getting a new Switch. When will it come out? Who knows?
I mean, they said last month there were no plans to announce a new version of the Switch anytime soon. That was what Nintendo's president said last month.
They say that all the time. The thing is, you don't want to cannibalize sales. The moment you announce, there's a new Switch coming out with a better screen, people are just like, right, we're not buying the old one anymore. It's that point, isn't it, when it's like, it needs to be good to go, and it needs to be close enough to good to go to not to really be detrimental to the sales of the Switch.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The Switch Lite came out in like November, not last year before. So I think that would be a good time to get it in before the Christmas period, but after like the summer holiday kind of thing. So yeah, keep an eye out. I'm sure Nintendo will reveal it when they're good and ready.
Hello, Gemma the Gay. You're in chat. It's nice to see you.
And Hero, welcome. Right. Last year, the UK's gaming purchases were 85% digital as opposed to physical.
Not to mention that most of us could only leave home for about 6 weeks.
And let's not forget either that there's a lot of games, like I'm going to use the Switch as an example, that are £2-3 on the Switch, which do not have physical releases. So I don't think this is as big a, oh my God, look how many digital sales we got compared to physical. So I think there's a lot of these obviously are digital only games. So you can't buy them physically even if you wanted to, because there's a lot more games on nowadays that are only available digitally than physically, like the cheaper ones.
Yeah, I cast my eye over the message boards over this, and the feeling on it is, well, this is a reflection of the fact that we've been in lockdown
Yeah.
for the main part of the year in the UK, due to the fact that our Prime Minister is Wurzel Gummidge, basically.
Don't insult
But
Wurzel
I
Gummidge
think-
like that.
Yeah.
He
I
could put
think
his thinking head on.
This is a reflection of that rather than anything else, because still there's a huge amount of people who are commenting to say, I would rather have physical copies because I can resell them and get them cheaply.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, and that's a really, really good point about that, is you buy a game new and then you can resell it, and then go buy it, more cheaply.
Or wait down the line and, like you say, you can get a second-hand copy a lot cheaper.
Absolutely. And definitely I've done that in the past, is picked up stuff that I wouldn't buy at all for new price, which I've bought in, various different trading places. And I've bought some stuff for the boyf as well.
Yeah,
just for like a tenner. When if it had been bought new, ridiculously out of our price range, especially given the fact that, nobody's got any money right now.
And like you say, it is really hard to just go out and buy games now. Like, you can get the bigger games, obviously supermarkets sell them. I could walk down to Tesco's or Asda and pick up like the latest Mario game if I'd wanted to.
We have got a funny story about that as our last story, haven't we?
Yes, we have. Wish we're getting there. But yeah, I don't think it's like a particularly showing that people want digital games, the fact that 85.4% were digital. I think it's like you say, pandemic, a lot of games only being available digitally, because like obviously if you're stuck at home and you're flicking through the eShop and there's a game on sale for like 99p, you're like, oh, you know what, I'll download this. So yeah, I think that's a lot of where this comes from. I think you'll find a lot of the actual bigger game releases, people do get them physically.
I do think that the arrival of the new hardware has given it a boost during lockdown, has given it a boost as well. Because if you remember, basically, we went into lockdown literally days before the launch of the new consoles, and people then had to go do click and collect. But then it's kind of the case of, oh, and now I've got a new console, some out there. What am I going to put on it? Your only really choice then becomes, well, I've got to buy digital.
Yeah. Exactly.
So yeah, I think that's really a non-story myself.
Hero.
Let's talk about it.
I will play Mario Monday at the end. I can't play it during the podcast, I'm afraid. It's redeem points for it.
Turned off.
Right. Have you ever fancied playing a game on a banana?
Do you know what? I was thinking that just yesterday.
Do you know? I've got this controller here, but I would much rather use a banana.
Yeah, I've got some fruit in. Shall I make a fruit salad, or
shall you turn it into a gaming controller?
Yeah.
Which Sony has patented this technology. It's like augmented reality. So you scan the banana. It can be a household item in, and then the game recognizes that as an object in the game. So it's like for VR basically. So instead of having to use the controllers, you could scan in like, I don't know, I've got nothing near me to grab. You could scan in this water bottle and then you could hold it and it would put buttons on it, which in VR you'd be able to see where the buttons were. Exactly. So that's just weird. I think it's to make it feel more immersive. So if you like playing a game where you're holding on to something, you can scan it in and actually be holding on to it.
So if it's a driving game, it could be like a dinner plate or something.
You could. I'm sure you get in trouble.
Yeah.
And the parents, what are you doing with my dinner plate? I'm playing driving game. It's interesting. I think it is very interesting. I know like there's a VR game at the moment that comes with like a soft toy. So it's like you're a cat and it comes with a cat soft toy, and you put the controller, you strap the controller to the cat, and then you can hold the actual soft toy to move the cat around in the game.
Why do I not know about this?
Because you don't play VR games.
Well, I don't have a VR headset. Yeah.
So I think it's like just the next level from that. Just find stuff that's around your house and scan it in. So yeah, if you ever wanted to play with a banana, hopefully Sony's got you covered.
Wow, yeah. I mean, we could say all sorts of things about that, but we'll keep it family friendly.
You know people are going to do it though, don't you?
Yes, I know people are going to do it. That's why I thought, yeah,
Right.
people will do that.
It
could be entertaining. Obviously not for you, given that you're all alone in that poor little gaming shed that you live in at the bottom of the garden.
I know, right? Poor me. Right. Final story. It just blows my mind. It just blows my mind.
I'm going to play the footage.
Why not? See, this gentleman here, he was a fugitive. He had escaped from prison. Did he escape from prison?
Gentleman might be sort of like a bit of an exaggeration.
He was a fugitive, armed robbery arrested after breaking out. And he decided that he really needed Call of Duty, the new Call of Duty game. So
he decided to pop down to his local store to get it, and
then
got a lockdown.
Yeah, and then got arrested.
Well, he got arrested shortly after he kicked a police officer and the privates. Yeah.
Nice.
So they ask him what's going on, where he's been, and why he's out in the streets on lockdown. He explains that he really needed Call of Duty, and at that point they go, right, well, we need to ask you details. And when he says that, all of a sudden he kicks off, as he's going to do right now. Oh! But the person with the body cam on is actually a female officer who jumps on him and holds him down while they wait for backup. So, when you listen to the voiceover on this, the person with the body cam is the female officer, and she basically keeps her hat on the entire time whilst restraining this dude. Which I take my hat off to her. It's International Women's Day and Mother's Day this week, so it's female power. But I admire this girl. I admire her massively. But I don't know what he was thinking. I am a escaped convict. There's nobody on the streets whatsoever because we're all in a lockdown. And what is the best thing for me to do? Pop down to my local game shop and pick up myself Call of Duty.
Yep.
I don't know what it was. I mean, I got to be honest. You know, criminals are not the brightest. Clearly, they're not. That's the fact that they're convicted criminals. Clearly not that bright. But I'm just like that.
It is. It's perhaps they thought, well, I've got a mask on, I've got my hoodie up. No one's going to recognise me.
Yeah, police. Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah,
right, Gemma, it is amazing.
So this is a life lesson. If you're ever on the run for police, don't go and buy Call of Duty. Get it digitally. Don't get a physical copy. Get it digitally.
Yeah.
This is one of the times where a digital copy is better than a physical copy. When you're on the lam, when you're hiding from the peelers.
Yeah. Absolutely. One of the best comments that I saw actually on this was just another day in Birmingham.
Oh, definitely.
It's like, right, okay.
Right. I don't think that's the news for this week.
It is. That's all the news for this week. We were going to put up a poll, weren't we?
We were, but we can't think of anything.
Well, the poll should be, what would be your favourite piece of fruit?
Because then I've got to type out every single piece of fruit in the world.
No, we could just do pineapple, banana.
Cheese.
Yeah. So instead, we will take questions.
Yes, this is the part of the show where we will talk to you guys because we like you.
Yeah, questions.
If you're not here live and you're watching this on YouTube, then or listen to it on a podcast, you can leave comments down on the YouTube video, or you can leave a tweet with hashtag Ninqueso Live, which always looks like Ninqueso olive to me whenever I see it.
Yeah, it does a little bit, but I like olives, so that's all right. Anyway, so questions. We're taking questions for the day, and the normal question that we get first and foremost is what's.
That's not there. We've got what do you think about AI?
So I know quite a lot about AI actually because I've done a fair bit of that in the both as part of my programming that I've done quite a bit of, and also as part of my psychology degree. So AI is hugely interesting and it's progressing at pace. I think we will get to the point where it'll be almost indistinguishable. And there's definitely places online now where I go and I think, am I talking to AI or am I talking to a person? And I can usually tell, but I think it'll come to a point where you probably can't tell.
I think we'll get to a point where it'll enslave human race, and then we'll be living in like little pods while it drains our electricity for battery power. Or is that the Matrix?
I was going to say, isn't that on the film, Bestie?
It's gonna, or they'll create Terminators and we'll be killed. It'll realise humans are the bad.
Somebody just asked, what's for dinner?
I've got the mince that I still need to finish off, so I'm going to probably have a burger. That's my dinner.
A lamb casserole.
Poor lamb.
Yeah, I've made lamb casserole, and there's going to be some vegetables with it and mashed potato.
Ew.
I like some mash. I know.
Maybe it's the free time for humans because we have more free time to chill. I mean, that's true. I mean, I think that's the ultimate goal for AI is to take away. But the problem with where we're in this like a capitalist society is money is all important. And the more AI comes into it and starts taking away people's jobs, if money is still the driving focus of the human race, that is bad because people aren't going to get paid. But if it's like AI comes in, takes over all the mundane jobs, thus giving people a chance to do other things because they don't need money. You know, if everyone's provided for by somehow.
This is interesting, actually, because, you know, there are political parties out there who have got a policy of universal income, which personally I'm very much in favour of because it allows people to assure that their bills are paid whilst being able to reach their full potential. Obviously, the Conservatives are completely against that because it really goes against the status quo of having very, very, very rich people and very, 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 very poor people who they can exploit to make them richer. So that it's not them. But yeah, I think it's the way to go, and definitely being a Trekkie where, you know,
I mean,
they abolished money.
That makes it. As soon as we got replication sort of technology to be able to create things to feed people and stuff, then that opens up so much more because obviously you won't need money then.
I would like a replicator more than I'd like a transporter.
I don't really want a transporter. I'd be like the Doctor, whatever his name was, Bones. I'd be like, no, I'm not going on a teleporter. Because the thing about it, it's like it kills you and then resurrects you somewhere else. How do you know that's actually you?
And also, remember, if you wanted to replicate a pizza any time of the night or day, you could. That should be our poll.
It should.
Transporter or replicator.
Or holodeck.
Yeah. I don't know. Replicator. Because I eat a lot.
Yeah, so a replicator would be awesome.
Just instantaneously replicate whatever it is I want.
It's not just food either, is it? It's like you could replicate. I could do you know what? I'm playing Ocarina of Time. I want an ocarina. Just give me an ocarina. There we go. I've got one.
Yeah, that's it.
It'd be like the ultimate 3D printer. I need me a Mason Molag bow now.
Yeah. Anybody in the chat, would you like a transporter or a replicator?
I'm not doing a proper poll.
Okay, I know you're not doing a poll, but I just thought people would like to give their opinion. Transporter or replicator? I think just from the food side of things, it would have to be a replicator.
Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do with a transporter? I mean, it would have been good when I had my wrestling ring. When I had my wrestling ring, it would have been good. I could just transport the wrestling ring right to where I needed it.
Yes, that would be good.
Right. Is that both? Anyway. What's AI? So Gemma, AI is artificial intelligence.
Yes. Yeah, it is.
Cool.
If there are no more questions in the chat, we'll wrap it up.
Yes. Where can they find you when you're not here?
You can find me on Twitter at gamergirl_Miss Brie. That's GMRGRL_MISSBRIE. And where can they find you?
You can get me on Twitter with Ninqueso1. God knows why I had to have a 1 at the end of it. I'm well annoyed. Or you can find me on Facebook, ElGranQueso74. And I stream daily, lots of times, twice a day now, over on Twitch, where I pretty much am all the time. So you can find me here.
Right. I've heard, because you told me, that I can set up a yoga channel.
Yes, well, you've got your channel. You can broadcast whatever you want on it, really.
Well, I mean, there's all sorts of things that I'd like to program. But me doing handstands and shizzle like that, I feel like there might be a lot of call for that.
There you go then. Then we could do like a joint.
Down.
Then we could do a joint broadcast with Ninqueso live.
Yeah.
Give you your 1,000 cheese drops back.
Yeah, I think
I will play it at the end. I will play it at the end, Hero.
Okay.
It's coming up. It's coming up.
Almost time for you to do the Batman thing.
Oh,
Are
God.
you ready?
I think we should drop this. I'm ready.
No, I like it.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right, then. You are up in 5, 4, 3, 2. Let's go.
With Sony announcing that you can play games on a banana, who will be the first idiot to play with a cactus? Find out the questions to these answers. Same cheesy time, same cheesy channel.
Actual story, Miss Mayberry. If you're listening on podcast, don't forget to give us a 5-star rating. If you're watching on YouTube or anywhere else, don't forget to subscribe. That's it for today. Say good night, Bestie.
Good night, Bestie.